everybody. And Satu. Everybody, thank you again for joining me for the healthy sandwich. Today, I am going to try to talk about something that's Buddhist related, Buddhist philosophy related. So, today's topic is going to be on reincarnation. Why do Buddhists believe in reincarnation? What is reincarnation in the sense of being reborn? What is the purpose of being reborn? And I'm going to use something that I can relate to, and hopefully can relate to other people too, is video gaming. With video gaming, it's, well, the purpose of reincarnation is when we pass, we can come back in a better standpoint. So I'm going to use a video game, a classic video game that people can actually relate to. And I think if I sing the tune, you'll understand right away. Yeah, you got it. So think about this here. You're in this land. You have this plumber-looking guy with a hat and all that stuff there. He's walking, and there's the clouds and all that stuff there. And then all of a sudden, you see a big old little mushroom coming your way with big eyes. You're like, whoa, what do I do? Now, if you first played it and you never played it before with the little, Nintendo controller with the with the square, with the cross directional pad and two buttons and then a select start. So you like A and B. What does it each do? So most of us, when we were playing games of anything in the past, like those shooting games and all that stuff with Atari, the arcades and all that stuff, you press the button as much time as possible and the action occurs. So here you're playing this game, and you have a B button, it doesn't do anything. And you have a jump button, you're like, whoa, okay, this is jump, and you're jumping high and all that stuff there, and this thing, you're like, are you supposed to attack the mushroom as it's coming your way? It's coming, you jump over, are you supposed to kill it? Because, in all the other games, you try to kill things as much as possible and attack it. And like, alright, there's other buttons, you're pressing B as much as possible, nothing's happening, so by the time it comes, is it supposed to do an attack when it gets close? Who knows? So, all of a sudden, boop, boop, you did. You died. So the creator of the game, Shigeru Miyamoto, he likely had created it so that you can enjoy it. You didn't just die and that was the end of it. So you had to learn from it. There's a learning process. You died, you learn, and every single time there's going to be a struggle, the suffering of it, the suffering of the game, playing that. So all right, you realize, oh, I can jump over that. I can just jump and kill it and get some points, and then you can jump over and don't even touch it, just keep moving and go along. And as you're going, you didn't know what the B button did, you didn't know you had to hold it down, and then as it's moving down, you actually jump, and you can jump further away. But this is here, you're just walking, and then you try to jump over the first gap, okay, you made it, and then the second gap's longer. It's like, oh, you're walking, like, whoop, whoop, you did. So again, it's a learning process. It's going to be a struggle, and that's on the first level. And there's multiple levels. I think there was 8 worlds in Mario Brothers, and each one you get a boss at the very end. Okay, you're learning, getting better and better. So the process of the idea of reincarnation is so that you have a chance to get to the end. You have a chance to see what the end is like, and so when you beat the game, the final game, you get to see the credits and all the good stuff there, and understand what that's like. That's like, whoa, I made it to the very end. Whew, all the things that you put in, and all the hard work that you put in, you finally made it to the end. Now, when you get to the end, you can either stay in the heaven part, or you may want to come back down and try another game and challenge yourself and redo something and find the purpose of your playing. So you can keep doing that, and that's part of the circle of life and suffering, where in Buddhism we believe that whenever anything is born, there's always suffering. And the purpose of what Gautama Buddha had done and made a teaching, not a religion, but more of a teaching, is that the purpose is to get off that cycle of birth, suffering, and then the ultimate of everything is to die. Everything dies. Everything dies. Even anything that's created has a shelf life too. It ends and it doesn't work anymore. You have to put time and effort into it, and that suffering to make it keep working, and at some point it just doesn't work anymore. So everything just keeps going. So the idea is, instead of having that same old hamster wheel, yes, you're going to reborn, because you're going to reborn, you go through that whole thing there, die. And the idea in Buddhism is to jump off that hamster wheel and just kind of watch it from the side, and it's like, all right, it's happening. And I appreciate life for all that it is, but it's more to no longer be born. So once you're not born, then you don't have to go through the suffering. And that's the opposite side of suffering, because Buddha believed, as one of the Four Noble Truths, one of them is that there's always an equal and opposite. There's light, dark. There's always some kind of opposite. So the opposite of suffering would be having happiness or bliss. Bliss would be, you're not, when somebody's too happy, and that kind of goes back to my old mindset, the healthy mindset. You're excessively happy. When you start dropping, you start noticing something's a problem. So when you're in the middle path, you're bliss. So that's the purpose of the reincarnation, so you can actually have a better spot. So just like the video game, when you're playing, you knew the mistake that you did from before, you have a better idea of what to do to avoid it. So you're going to be born in a better position to avoid those pitfalls, literally. So that's reincarnation there. And one of the things that somebody had asked me before was, well, saying, if there's reincarnation, why can't you remember what happened in your last life? And there are people who have been documented to remember something in the past life, but it can be pretty traumatic. Now, you remember, every time we're born, we're gonna still go through a whole lifetime of suffering. So I'm now gonna use computers for the analogy of why we can't remember things. So you have a brand new computer. You start putting all these things onto the computer, all these new things and memories. It's gonna keep adding on, and you can upgrade the computer and all that stuff there. And then the computer's life, let's say it lasts about 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 if you have a good one, but that's been maxed out. And then you're like, all right, now I gotta get a new computer, get a faster computer, say, but you want to hold on to all that memory. And you're gonna have to transfer that memory onto the new computer you just got. This is the new body. You got a new computer, and then you're still adding more stuff onto it. What's gonna happen to that computer? You know what's going to happen to the computer. That computer is going to slow down and slow down. It's going to be too much for that computer to handle. So, if you want to have a maximum efficient computer, what do? Clean it out. Clean slate. And that's the whole thing. When you're reborn and reincarnated into a new body, you don't have the memories of the past, but you have the essence of what you were before. So that's like an operating system in a new computer. That it allows for it to work in a certain way, and a certain behavior it can actually get built into it. And who you're with, the bloodlines that you may have had, so if you pass away, the idea is, a lot of times you're reborn in the same family with the bloodline. So when you're doing that, you have a better chance of having the same upbringing to get you to where you want to be. It's kind of like, here, I don't have any children. Okay, I don't have any children. So if I pass away and I don't get to succeed and jump off the hamster wheel and have that different mindset, then I'm going to possibly, maybe not even born as a human, but let's say I am born as a human, I may actually be born under a different roof or a different denomination, different mindset. So that could conflict with the whole idea of jumping off that wheel instead of just keep going through the wheel of life and death. And it does conflict with other things, but I don't want to touch about that. I just want to touch about that, about reincarnation, why we believe in that, so it can be applied. So the application again of the reincarnation is to jump off the hamster wheel. So what's the purpose of jumping off the hamster wheel? Well, you were playing the video game of Super Mario Brothers. When you're playing that video game, Super Mario Brothers, you went through a lot of trouble. So you're like, all right, I beat the game. I can either play it again successfully, maybe do a speed run, whatever. But then you want to play, all right, I gotta play a new one now. Let's play another video game. Let's play like I don't know, let's say Ninja Gaiden or something like that. And you know, everybody knows how hard the NES Ninja Gaiden is. That game is gonna go. You're gonna be struggling. You're gonna be swearing. You're gonna have a lot of trouble with that. So, the purpose of jumping off the wheel is instead of struggling and seeing somebody else's creation, you jump off and you can pretty much create anything you want. And you're like, oh, you know what? I can create my own world in my own headspace because I don't have to go through the whole birth and recycle. I'm happy where I am, but I don't have to go through that whole struggle. But I can create what I want to create, and in essence, kind of be, I hate to say it, but you pretty much godlike. So, or even God parallel. The thing is, when you jump off, instead of playing the video games now, you're like, I don't want to play anymore. I want to actually make stuff. And I figured, hey, you know, I can make video games too. So I was like, how hard is that? I'm gonna get one of those video game developing apps. So those the dev kits that we got, you know, I downloaded and all that stuff. And I'm trying to make my own one game. First level, I'm like, yeah, I can be. How hard is that? You get somebody jumping and all that stuff there. I'm like, man, it's hard because you have to learn a new language, a new mindset. You have to think like the creator. So again, godlike. You have to start thinking that way. So the mindset to get off that wheel is to think like that. Think like a creator. Think like a developer. So that's a little bit of why everything can put together. Sorry, but I wanted to concentrate just on reincarnation, what the purpose of reincarnating, so that way you can get into a better position, so that way you don't make the same mistakes and have a better opportunity to reach the end in a very meaningful way. And there's also, I also talked about the whole concept of jumping off the wheel, and why we believe in Buddhism, we believe that suffering, there's a way to end suffering. There's the way to end suffering. It's not to end other people's sufferings, but end your own suffering first. Before that, once you understand it, it is possible for you to teach it and teach other people. When you teach other people that, then your words may resonate with other people, and it shouldn't be applied to what you experience. Not so what I experienced. So I'm using video games as my experience because it applies. It's logical to me. I think logically, so it works. Some other people may use other analogies and concepts. So that's it there. That's it may be kind of off topic, but two different topics at the same time. So I'm sorry for going kind of like you know, saying that it was going to be about one topic, but it kind of meshed together, so it was necessary. That's pretty much it there. So Satu and Sophie, thank you very much for following and listening to what I had to say.